Finally, visual idioms. So today we are revisiting our visual idioms and taking a look at how we can turn a phrase into a visual image. So the reason we're doing this is because idioms already create images in our mind with the way that they're phrased. And it really will help us to start thinking outside the box in other circumstances if we turn what we hear into a visual image. So our one today is, it's not rocket science. So the phrase means it's not that complicated. And it's a good one to have because if we think of the world and if we have a really big problem and we think it's really big and we can't get over it, it's a good way to think, it's not rocket science. I can break that problem down. I can crack through that and I can achieve it if I just set my mind to it. So that's what we're working with today. All we need is a piece of paper and a pencil. I'll go over it at the end to show you what it looks like when we go over it in a pen, and then you can decide whether you want to as well. I'm using an A3 piece of paper, but pick and choose whether you want to use the same size or smaller. So the idea of it's not rocket science, to me, kind of conjures images, probably like you, of rockets and who mans rockets, astronauts. So I'm going to turn an astronaut into doing something regular. So I'm going to do an astronaut gardening because that's an everyday activity and something that some of you might be doing at the moment. So I'm going to have an astronaut posing in the garden, and because it's funny, I'm going to have a slightly podgy and more like everyday person as an astronaut rather than a really fit person who won't have any body fat because that's not normal. And then I'm going to have him in the garden with a rake. So parallel draw along with me. We're going to start by, not with a pen, that would be a mistake, pencil. So we're going to start with the head. So we have got, as with all astronauts, they have a really large, basically like a bowl on their head. So we've got that, and then inside the bowl, we have a rim for the visor. And to show that it's glass, we're gonna have some hashed lines here. And they're gonna be slightly curved lattice so that it shows that the glass is bending. So we're then going to bring this down a little bit, but we're not going to join it up. And we're going to give him some arms, which is handy. So we are going to have one arm coming down, and then this arm, it's going to be a bit wonky, and it's going to bend inwards. So we have it like that, and then we're going to have his material is gathering a little bit on his sleeve. They are then going to have some gloves. So when I do hands are tricky, so we can break it down by just doing lines and joining the lines up. So we obviously have 5 fingers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the thumb is going to be slightly different off to the side. So this is a really simple way of doing a hand, and then we kind of join them up. Yeah, that looks a bit weird. Let's join them up and make them not look completely bonkers at the same time. So there we have his hand. And on the right, we're going to have the hand is kind of grasping. So we're going to come up to the thumb, and then we're going to go, it's kind of off to the side, so we're not going to see all the fingers. And this is going to be bending inwards. So we then need to have the rake for the garden rake that is going to come all the way through. So we're going to have that in the crook of his arm. It's going to be a very, very long rake. Because why not? Probably not the average size rake that you would see. But this isn't the average picture, so we can do what we want. We can imagine it. So we're then gonna have the body. So the body is going to, we're gonna have a little line here for where the leg is gonna start. And then the leg is going to, we're gonna have some ripples in his clothes. So we're just gonna have some ripples where we want them to be. You could have ripples in a slightly different place if you want. And then we're gonna come down on the other side. So he's got creased trousers because he's doing some gardening. And then we're gonna come down. Because we're looking at the front of his shoe, we're not really gonna see the shoe. It's gonna kind of appear like this. And the same for the other side. Kind of moon booty, very moon booty, which is appropriate. So we need to come out a little bit actually there because he's a little uneven. We're going to have a belt. So this comes across like that, and then we're going to have a section that kind of joins everything together. And I'm going to bring this down like that. And then this is going to have some piping, maybe not the right word, but almost like when you, if you have a backpack and you have water that you can suck on from a straw that goes into your backpack. It's a bit like that, to wind around to go in to the big box on his back, which I think has his oxygen in it, but I'm happy to be corrected. I think that's what it is. It might have changed. This might be a bit of an old-fashioned astronaut. And so this is his whole body. We have his body sorted. It actually does look like already a kind of a cross between maybe a jogging outfit and an astronaut, which is great. And then we're going to have the rake coming across. So I'm just going up and down, almost like the top of a castle. So we have the rake. So the reason he's raking is because the garden is very messy. So we're going to show the messy garden with lots of lines to show long grass. And around his feet, he's flattened the grass. So it's going to be flattened. And then it comes up in patches. And it's very, very messy, hence his need to be there. I'm just doing lots of little lines. And we're kind of going along, so I've got my level at the front and then we go to a second level and we're coming across. So it's not completely random, it's kind of in stages because so that it looks more natural. So he's got a bit of a problem on his hands with this very, very messy shrubbery. And we might add in some daisies. So maybe we add in amidst all of the chaos, we have a little flower. And you might just want to have one little patch with some flowers on it because I think that will look quite cute. So maybe one more. And there we have it. It's not rocket science. We have our astronaut doing an everyday thing, which is gardening. So I said I would show you what it looks like to go over everything in pen. So I'm going to go over the body of the astronaut, and I probably will leave the grass as it is. So let's see how it pops. So if you're doing this at the same time, then you might want to just be careful and go quite slowly out. Oops. So that you do it carefully. So I might be going a bit too fast for you. It's not a race. So when we get to this, remember that we've got the rake is in front. So we don't want the line going through the rake. We want to miss it out so that we don't in his belt. His tank at the back. His trousers with their folds in it. Bit of a grungy astronaut. Reminds me a little bit of Rugrats, potentially. Maybe that's not what I mean. And the rake. So I've got to be careful with my line. And all the way down. Just like that. And I might do my little flowers as well. So that's just how you can see what it looks like when we do it in a different medium with a pen instead. So if you like what it looks like, go ahead and do yours. Perhaps you'll colour it in with pencils or watercolours or anything that you've got at home. I would love to see what you've done. So do share on social media with the hashtag ArtKOnline, and I will get to see it, and that would be fab. So to see our next video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like a free trial on our website with other art projects that we do, then please follow the link in the description and you can have a free 7-day free trial. And apart from that, it was lovely drawing with you, and happy creating. See you next time.